Alrighty, folks, it is time for round 4 of Grand Prix Darkhand Enterprises. Whether we win or lose here determines whether or not there are any more rounds to be seen after this one, so it'll be very interesting to figure out how this is going to go, because I think this is going to be a really tough matchup. We're up against Volt Switch on Koraja the Broken Blade. It's a black-red feels mid-rangey, but there's definitely some very aggressive elements to it. It's a sacrifice deck, using a lot of good sacrifice synergies. Volt Switch and I are both 2 and 1, so this is an elim match to determine which one of us is going to get into top cut here. I don't want to keep my opponent waiting, so I'm not going to go through their full list, but I will note with Koraja real quick. Koraja has an Enters trigger that if it wasn't cast from your hand, you can discard your hand to draw 2 cards. Because Koraja is in the command zone at the start of the game, this is just a 2-mana 2/2 that draws you 2 cards when you start running Hellbent. So my opponent's going to be able to run out a ton of resources, develop a ton of engines, and kind of shrug off going low on cards in hand, because Koraja can refill their hand, and then she can also just sacrifice Koraja to something like a Merciless Headsman, or to a Rib Collector, or a Vengeful Artificer. There's a couple different sacrifice outlets here. Inklight Dancer is a big one. And then if Koraja is sacrificed, when Koraja is sacrificed, the opponent can exile Koraja and then cast it from exile next turn. So it's going to be a lot of value for us to have to fight through. It's going to be a really, really tense one, especially because they're backing that value up with a lot of solid aggressive tools. And relatively low curve for the most part, with some of their higher curve stuff just being things that are really annoying if we kind of get steamrolled. There are some 6-drops, as evidenced by stuff like General of the Damned, so some slower elements of this deck. I'm curious to see how we stack up against it. Real quick before we dive in, one last thing, and I probably should have been saying this at the start of the last 2 rounds. If you have not seen it already, and there should be a link up in the top right now on the info card, the new set for the September rotation has been revealed. Exalts of Twiltree is coming to replace Theros Age of Trax in the next season, rotating at the end of this month, at the start of next month. If you want to get my thoughts on everything that there is to know about the new set, everything that's worth looking for as patch hits at the start of next month, highly recommend you give my video a watch. It is a long one. It's 3.5 hours, because I try to do my best to go through every card that I think could even remotely merit discussion, even if I think it's not a good card personally. So highly recommend you give that a check out while you can, when you can. I don't blame you if you pace yourself on that one. I really should have paced myself on recording it, but we make do with what we can. Anyways, let's not keep our opponent waiting any longer. Let's dive in. Alrighty. Gonna kick off with the die roll. Rolled a 10. Oh, that's 10. That's 10 times a 1. I was almost gonna say 10 more than a 1, but that is incorrect. 10 is 9 more than 1. Oop. Oop. I'll let my opponent pass to me. Alrighty. So first hand here, actually is looking really good. We can go turn 1 Tough Nut into turn 2 Masksmith or Duress. So I think Tough Nut is really good to run out. They do have a lot of cheap spells, but like I think a lot of their 1-drop spells that I would be worried about are things that I'm not actually that worried about, like Heedless Cruelty can't come down on turn 1. They could Magma Flow on turn 1, but then I at least untap with Tough Nut. And if they want a Tough Nut, if they want to kill Tough Nut, that's really their only option, and then I at least untap with it. Yeah. I like this. Because they have to check Tough Nut within the first 2 turns. I get a Duress on turn 2 to try and clear the way for Tough Nut. Opponent is keeping 7. Let's go for Forest into Tough Nut. That is what we in the business call a nut draw. I've wanted to make that joke since this card was printed, and I finally get to. Opponent has Temple of Origins and passes on turn 1. So I think Swamp is the draw here. I think I'm interested in Profane Grove, filtering mana with Tough Nut to cast this Duress. Because, shocking in Profane Grove is meaningless. We could just play a Swamp if we really wanted to. I want to hold the basics in hand, in part because I want to hold untapped lands for future land drops, rather than trying to find a window where I can play this tapped later. I can just play this tapped now and accept that Tough Nut's going to be tapped. I think there's no hasty creatures I would have to worry about anyways. Expendable Arsonist, but I'm never blocking that. It's really like one power hasty creatures that I'm worried about, and that is a whole 0 creatures. So yeah, let's let Tough Nut inform our land drop just to be safe. Tough Nut already getting to pretend it's putting in work. We see Mountain, Devoted Lackeys, Rib Collector, Merciless Ruiner, Deadly Dispute, Garen. Ruiner, Rib Collector, Lackeys are annoying, but not too annoying. Dispute Lackeys is really frustrating, and part of me wants to take the Dispute to shut off Dispute Lackeys, but I gotta take Garen. Garen's a value engine that is gonna start applying a lot of, like, just generating a lot of value. Like, this thing looping, like, Merciless Ruiners or Rib Collectors could be annoying. Like, maybe I just take the Deadly Dispute. Maybe I do just say, like, yeah, you can have Garen. I'll be ahead of you by the time Garen comes down and is relevant. Like, turn 2 run out Devoted Lackeys, turn 3 run out Garen, and by their turn 3 I will have run out Jack. So I uptick to 5. They play Garen. If they rummage, they take 1 from Jack. Yeah, I think I'm probably just cool with that, right? Okay, revealing once I'm done for later reference. I feel like... See, I don't think I have a great window to kill Garen. I have Chronicle of Extinction in hand, so actually I don't know if that's true either. Because if they go Devoted Lackeys Garen, I just Chronicle of Extinction them. That kills Garen, kills Lackeys. Yeah, let's take the Deadly Dispute. Let's take the card draw. Let's make them use Koraja to get card advantage. All right, so opponent has kindly revealed their hand for us. Mountain gets played here, unsurprising. I have to assume it's just going to be Devoted Lackeys coming down here. Yep, Lackeys is in fact what came down. Alrighty. Untap, draw. We find another forest. Well, let's run out the swamp. Unattach Jack. We're gonna uptick to 5. Milling Swamp and Maim. Bummer to lose the Maim here, but I think that's just fine for me. Pop out my graveyard because it will be relevant. And then we pass. Oh, sorry, this should be tapped. Yeah. Tough Nut needs to be used to cast Jack here. All right, so, yep, the Mountain does not shock me. They are going to swing at Jack. Oh, they're swinging at me. Ooh. Are we going to see Merciless Ruiner? Creation's Combustion to kill both Jack and Tough Nut. Which is the original targeting? This is important because if the original's targeting Tough Nut, I get 2 Jack triggers. If it's targeting Jack, I get 3. Targeting Jack. So just confirming with opponent. So I believe I go up to 27 and they go down to 21. I think if my opponent asks if they can change the order, I think I'm willing to let it happen. But opponent is just going to know better next time, which I think is reasonable. I if this were a month 1, 2, or 3 GP, I would not have said such a thing in in commentary. I would not have said like, oh, I'll be okay if my opponent wants to rewind. But this is a month 4 GP, and this is a brawl GP. I think while I am invested in trying to make competitively minded choices, I'm not so invested that I must at all times like spike things out and do my utmost. Also, this Path of Phoenix is hilarious because I was thinking of like maybe I chronicle their hand. Nope, I'm not chronicling their hand now because I'm gonna Path of Phoenix their hand. Keep the graveyard open because I think my turn 5 is gonna be Chronicle of Extinction now. We're gonna go Swamp, Path of Phoenix. Man, imagine if I got to do this with Jack in play. They mill. Oh, sorry. They pitch Rib Collector, Dying Pledge. So I know the exact contents of their hand. They mill Primal Fisher, Demon of Dire Storms. Demon of Dire Storms was actually one of the things I was more worried about in their list, so that is nice to see. Alrighty. We're gonna see probably Garen here. Yup. So we know their last card is Merciless Ruiner. I'm gonna get to do something properly rude here, which is Path of Phoenix, eat their Garen, play their Garen. They're upticking, discarding no cards. I untap and draw. Failed Gateway here cleans up Merciless Ruiner and Koraja, which is really nice. I gain 2, they lose 2. Life totals are looking really comfy here. I'm 10 above the opponent. Forest. Sacrifice a creature and Planeswalker. So we know Ruiner is a dead card in their hand right now. They drew Warpway Ring, so they're going to crack it. We'll see if they Koraja here. I feel like if you're Volt Switch, you gotta just Koraja pitch this Merciless Ruiner. Because, like, if I take Ruiner with Path of Phoenix, I think you're fine. Okay, yeah. Ruiner's gone. They're drawing 2. All right. No other plays here, so we'll see what we hit. Untap and draw. We find a Swamp. I'm just going to say... I could eat Garen. What are the alternatives? I could take Creation's Combustion, just kill Koraja, but that doesn't seem super impactful. I could take Merciless Ruiner to kill Koraja, but that has the same kind of general effect. I think it's just got to be taking Garen. 1, 2, 3. Uptick, I'm thinking on discards. I could pitch the Failed Gateway, but I think because it checks Koraja and enough other things, I'm just going to say no discard. We're going to run out Masksmith. Hell's Boon. I might as well crack. What do I want to eat? Give me a second. I want to take a look at their deck real quick and see what creature recursion they've got. So Expendable Medic rebuys a creature. That might be it. That alone, like, because Rip Collector's gone. So Expendable Medic. Bummer about the Hell's Boon. Enduring Loyalty would be lovely to kill here, but I can't, so. Each player sacrifices a creature. Yeah, if it was Rank and Defile or Enduring Loyalty in the graveyard, I would probably hit those. As it stands, though, I think I just hit the Rib Collector with the knowledge that them recurring Rib Collector is pretty scarce. Like, they have Expendable Medic as their only other way of recurring it. Alrighty, so Rib Collector gone, Hell's Boon expended, meaning that Volt Switch needs to find another check for Garen, because expending the Hell's Boon there means Garen does not get cleared this turn. Sending to it Garen does not surprise me. Do they spend another resource killing their own Planeswalker? Swamp is land for turn. And... oh, sorry, redeveloped Cityscape. As land for turn. And then they cracked it. Got the swamp. Okay, yeah. So 1 card in hand. 6 lands for the opponent. We untap and draw Hollowed Chamber. I think I'm in on Jack, uptick Garen. Discard Hollowed Chamber and let that inform my next decision. Just clarifying on the uptick to make sure I'm good to do so. I will discard this Hollowed Chamber to draw a card. Harvest time. Opponent takes 1. If I had a green source in the graveyard, I would +1. I would consider plussing Jack to +1 to try and get a green source and then play the Harvest Time. So I could hit land drop this turn. But I think as it stands, It's going to be uptick Jack to 5. Mill Morbid Bloomer Forest. Just 1 life loss event. Opponent does not take 2, they only take 1. Garen really good with Jack, as it turns out. The Rummaging Planeswalker just did that to notify opponent of the life total. Let's see which one gets swung at. It's gonna be Garen. I meant to do set counters. So Garen down to 1. But I don't know if that's really solving problems here. General of the Damned. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, deal 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. Interesting. I can failed gateway the Koraja, minus Jack, kill the General of the Damned, and my opponent is out of resources. Untap. I draw. Exorcist of Errors. Phenomenal timing. If I'm minusing Jack, I might as well be getting the Morbid Bloomer. So I think it's going to be +1 Garen. Discard 2 cards. I gain 1. I draw 2. High Scotha. Swamp as land for turn. I will rearrange lands in a moment. 1, 2, 3. Failed gateway. Trigger Jack. Set counters to 2. Jack -3. It's going to be +1 life. My opponent loses 1. I will have Jack rebuy. Yeah, just rebuy the Morbid Bloomer. And then we will Surface Harvest time. Go find another forest. I think this is probably just done. We've got the ample advantage here. Opponent will untap. They will get to spend 4 mana to recast Koraja and dig deeper, so she could find something. But I feel like I've got things on lock. Expendable Medic is pretty good. I almost wonder in this particular circumstance, do you just discard the medic to open the door for it to get the discard mode? Or sorry, the exile mode to rebuy a creature? Magma Flow is nice. Checks either of my planeswalkers now. Wow. Killing Morbid Bloomer. 2 Jack triggers. I was expecting a planeswalker getting hit here. That's pretty big. This is kind of ridiculous though. This is the power of Jack when Jack just gets to sit and play. Jack is really good against sacrifice decks as well, because like, yeah, sacrifice your things, see what happens. So I was nervous because Koraja is a really good draw engine. We've gotten to see some of that this game, but my goodness, Jack in play is really good, and we had a crazy sequence of draws here too. Of course, we will untap, draw. We can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can go forest, tap 8, sacrifice a land, replay a land with Jack. Pay 9, and then Chronicle of Extinction, sacrifice, exile your graveyard. I mean, that's probably gratuitous, but yeah, like that's gratuitous. We have Skotha, we have Downlink Overload. Um, we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can Skotha, Downlink Overload, get back Masksmith, and hold up Masksmith to just eat whatever the medic gets back. So I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be uptick Jack for 2. Set counters to 4. We mill Forest, Disestablishmentarianism. We play Forest. Pay 6 for Skotha. We will get back Masksmith. We will uptick Garen, and we will just pass. And then we've got Chronicle of Extinction for whatever might come off of the next Koraja cast here. Because, yeah, I'm blocking Koraja if it's coming in. 3 mana. Merciless Headsman. That is an interesting draw for them, because their card draw here does come at a significant cost. They are going to sacrifice Koraja first and foremost. So cast it... Oh, until the end of your next turn. So yeah, they could. I do still ping ya. And I think if you're going in on Koraja here, like, I'm fine with that. I will just block with Skotha. They are fragging Skotha. Wow. That's clever. Did I gain a life from that? I did not, so I should be at 40. Do I downlink Overload here now? So I could, like, downlink the minion, deal 1, Masksmith, sacrifice. I think I just keep the Masksmith in play at this point. We untap. We draw. Pick up a concurrent escapist. 1. So we have 3 damage with Garen -2, exile Morbid Bloomer, kill Merciless Headsman. That's 4 damage because that opens up the Masksmith attack and deals 1 from Merciless Headsman dying. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to find the avenue here. So we can +1 Jack, sacrifice a land, get back Hollowed Chamber, sacrifice Hollowed Chamber. That's 2 shots. Use the mana from Hollowed Chamber to go for Skotha. Okay, complicated lines here, but I think I do have lethal because I can swing with Masksmith, sacrifice Masksmith, Skotha back Masksmith, use Jack with Hollowed Chamber. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 on the Jack activation. Oh no, I can't not with the Hollow Chamber. 5 on the Jack activation. Okay, I'm losing my mind here. I get 1, 2, 3, 4. That's clear here. I need two sacrifice sequences. I have Jack gets oh my gosh. I could also just like concurrent escapist downlink overload. I like escapist downlink overload is a potential 2 damage. So that's infinitely easier. Set counters to 1 on Garen. Eat Morbid Bloomer, killing Merciless Headsman. I'm overcomplicating the math here. I missed lethal, I think, and then I just did some sloppy math. I don't know if I missed lethal. I honestly don't know what the heck has happened this game. My brain is melting just a teensy bit. I deal 1, gain 1. Go to combat. Swing 3. Main 2. Concurrent escapist. I will make a token copy. Set annotation to token. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have plenty of mana to work with if I need to use Skotha plus Jack, either -3 or +1 to dig for an out here. I am gonna absolutely go for downlink overload on escapist. Downlink overload on escapist. That's a shot. So these all go away. And then uptick, targeting Hollowed Chamber, sacrifice a land, and that's GG's. Whew. And I still had Skotha and the Masksmith in play. Wow. Opponent says not the best matchup. Yeah, I keep running into matchups where I'm like, oh, this is going to be really easy, and it's really bad. And then matchups where I'm really worried, and it turns out I just have natural advantages. This was how I felt with the Finax matchup as well, where I was just mortified that I was up against Finax. And it turns out the mill deck struggles against a deck that wants their graveyard full. All right, opponent's going to be on the play here. Cityscape, Crags, Forest. Then we've got Visionary, Sifting Through Soot, Tough Nut. I mean, like, we have the back-to-back turn 1 nut here. The downside's just we either run out the Soot on turn 2 or we risk not having Jack on turn 3. I do think the nut is a lot more unreliable here on the draw, though. I am going to keep this. I may honestly Cityscape pitching Time Worn Crags. Because, like, black-red deck, they've got Edgeland Market as a utility land. That's all I care about. And I don't think I particularly care about Edgeland Market. Impulsive Underling is going to be annoying. Do I just go for Arduous Miners here? Nah, I think I go for the Tough Nut. Because, like, if it lives, I can Crags filter for mana for the Sifting Through Soot or the Arduous Miners. And if it dies, I just go for the Cityscape anyways. We're nuttin'. Alrighty. Underling is going to be a real problem. This is just going to pop and deal a bunch of damage to us. No sacrifice effects on board. No fetch here is really good for us. I need to check a thing real quick. What could I get punished by for blocking here? Terminal Impact X is 0. Deals 1 damage because mana spent. I see no reason to not block. Like, Spiteful Banditry can't be cast this turn. Aushun's Presence would want to already be in play. What could deal 1 damage to a thing? Yeah, I think we'll block. Risking it all. Opponent taps 2. Devoted Lackeys again. Alrighty. We got there. We untap and draw. Find a second forest. Tells me all I need to know, which is that this forest is coming down this turn instead of the Time Worn Crags. I think I'd still like to pitch Crags to Cityscape if I can. And I think I'm going to get out the Sifting Through Soot here while I can. Sifting Through Soot. And we pass. Don't believe my opponent's on any enchantment removal. They would have to have it in their sorcery stack, and they do not. So this is just going to sit and play for the rest of the game. And at the very least, with Cityscape Crags, we've got 3 landfall triggers lined up here. Ooh, I wonder if we're going to see Aushun's Presence sacrifice Lackeys here. That's going to work really poorly. We're going to see it just eat the Underling, so we take another 3, and then Full Switch gets to draw a card. Yeah, so heads up play of not just popping the Lackeys there. Aushun's Presence is going to be really annoying, but we live with it, and now we may just not play the Cityscape here. We may just play the Crags and Junkyard. I see. So choices to make here. We could play the Cityscape here, pitch the Crags, and just take this opportunity to run out the Arduous Miners. We could use this opportunity to try and use Time Worn Crags or Time Worn Crags to run out the Arduous Miners or... Sorry, to run out the Elrontan Visionary. We could not run out the Barbarous Rough Rider here. I think we just get the Jack in play, right? Like, they've got an Aushun's Presence in play. Nope, that's terrible for us because they just animate Aushun's Presence and kill Jack. So we're not going for the Jack line here. I think with that in mind... I think it's going to be Time Worn Crags Elrontan Visionary, actually. That feels weird. Maybe we just go use Tough Nut to filter for Arduous Miners, Cityscape, pitch Time Worn Crags. Let's run out the Miners. I think no discard. Because Koraja makes the discard really awkward anyways. We see Swamp played, paying 2. They did animate Aoshin's presence here. So this is a 3/2 dragon with flying permanently. Important to note. That does make this a lot more vulnerable to removal, thankfully. So this will be something we can actually reasonably check, but it will be just clocking us here. We take 5. I think I'm cool with that. We'll see if they want to pop. No, they're just going to pass here. Sacrifice the cityscape. When it says, yeah, we'll pitch Time-Worn Crags here. Not the right matchup for it. Get Swamped, play tapped, Swamp to hand. And then counter on Sifting through Soot, we gain 2. All right, we'll untap, draw here, find a Scotha. That's interesting. I think I'm still very in on the slow plan here. So I think what that means is we're going to go... Like, I don't think I'm interested in having any, like, the Argus Miners chump for the Devoted Lackeys. Actually, I am interested in that because I can go Jack, discard a card, discard a land, play a land from my graveyard. No, that's just not the right play this turn. We're gonna do Junkyard, and we're gonna Rough Riders. We're just gonna get stuff on board. See if they want to pay 2 life. They're gonna pay 2 life. Of course they will. They're at 25. And then we will just Forgotten Junkyard. Gonna set this to 4 real quick. We gain 4. View library. Let's go get another swamp. And do we want to swing 1? Yeah, I'm never blocking with this. Ooh. Hell's Boon. Sure. They take 2. They take 1. All right, cool. Opponent's down to 3 cards to our 3 cards. I have Scoth Alarantan Visionary, Swamp versus their 3 unknowns plus their draw for turn. Their board's a little better than mine, but I feel relatively comfortable. Expendable Arsonist, goodness gracious. Yeah, so that's really good with Aoshin's presence here. So that's going to be 9 damage, plus 2 at end of combat with Aoshin's presence. Yeah, that's a really good combo. So Aoshin's presence and Decayed are both end of combat triggers. So you can stack it where Aoshin's presence gets to resolve before the Decayed trigger, which is just really, really strong. I really do like Aoshin's presence, so I'm happy to see it getting some play here. Koraja pitching 3, pitching Sanguine Palace, Primal Fissure Swamp, drawing 2. Okay, Koraja is officially in. We untap and draw Morbid Bloomer. We could go Alarantan Visionary off of Swamp Forest. I think we're going to go leave up a forest, cast Alarantan Visionary. Pressuring Ghoul, Path of Phalanx, Forest here. I think it's going to be the Path of Phalanx. Non-creature permanent. Oh, and this gains 1, we gain 2. And yeah. And we've got the sneaky Tough Nut to pay for Morbid Bloomer here. Little sketchy, but I think I'm fairly comfortable. The Aushun's presence is a real problem. They hit another land drop. They're going to go swing in just the Aushun's presence. We take 3. So they're denying us Morbid Bloomer here. End of combat. Yep, sacking Koraja. It tells me they probably do not like the things in their hand. They do draw a card, but not deal 2 here. Because it is only dealing damage to the opponents that the sacrificed creature attacked this turn. Koraja's Centipede. That's going to pop and make a lot of nasties. And then Koraja recast. Pitching Enduring Loyalty Mountain. Enduring Loyalty is very frightening to see here. Yeah. So we've got not a lot of resources in our graveyard. Oh, I'm clicking on their library instead of their graveyard. Enduring Loyalty gets back from graveyard, so they could get back my Barbarous Rough Rider. Centipede is a 3/3. When it dies, it makes 3 1/1s, which is exactly enough creatures to feed into Enduring Loyalty. All right. We will untap. We will draw Finax's Touch here. Okay, I think it's going to be Morbid Bloomer, swing. If they, like, regardless of what happens here, I'm going to use the Bloomer to get back Forest using Tough Nut mana. I'm going to play the Forest, use the mana for Skotha, get back Rough Rider, and then I'm going to Finax's Touch with Elrontan Visionary. And I will gain 2 life from that in the process. So let's go to combat. Swing 3. See what blocks here. Okay, they are going to block with the Centipede here. Damage. I will get back the Forest. Centipede down makes 3 insects. I would be so over the moon to have the 3 mana -1, -2/-2 to all creatures here. The Failed Gateway. Failed Gateway would go so hard here. This triggers. I make a treasure because I had a thing leave my graveyard. Skotha. They discard a card. It is Oni of Tongues, and then I will get back Barbarous Rough Rider. Make a tapped treasure. Oh, and I should be at 12 here. Opponent did take 2 from the Rough Rider here. I'll just Finax's Touch, get rid of your hand. You're all in on the Enduring Loyalty. You could get back Morbid Bloomer here, but I think I'm fine with that. Pitches Inklight Dancer. That's a perfectly fine one to see get going here. Alrighty, we are in a bit of trouble, but I think we're stabilizing. If they target the Morbid Bloomer from our graveyard with Enduring Loyalty or Pressuring Ghoul, we will get an Arduous Miners trigger. That being said, they're going to get back 6 of the 7 creatures in graveyards because they've got Devoted Lackeys to sacrifice. With that in mind, they get back Inklight Dancer. They have 2 mana for Dancer. I think we're fine. But this is really sketchy. We pass. I would be infinitely more comfortable this turn if we had stabilized while having time to develop Jack. They go for a land. I'm so happy to see that. We will take 3. They're going to eat Koraja. Does she see the Enduring Loyalty line? It's possible she doesn't. Pitches, redevelop Cityscape, draws 2. 1, 2, 3. I don't. Oh, Ravenous Slaughterlord. End step deals 1 to each opponent and you gain 1 life if you sacrifice a permanent this turn. We got away from the Enduring Loyalty for a turn here. So we lose 1, they gain 1. And I can run out Jack here pretty comfortably. Oh, boy. I didn't think we would get a turn with Jack here. We untap. We draw. Pull of Tizerus. Ooh. Pull of Tizerus on the Devoted Lackeys here is pretty good. And we can even Pull of Tizerus back with Skotha, kill Aushun's Presence. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good draw there. I think I'm just going to use all of my green here for Jack. Unattach. Set counter to red. Set counters to 5. I'm just upticking before I do anything else. Failed Gateway Swamp. Bummer to see Failed Gateway go away. This would be amazing here. I needed that here. Would have been so beautiful. I maybe could have +1'd and flipped the forest into a junkyard to gain an additional 1 here. All right. But yeah, we've got some nastiness here. Pull of Tizerus on the Devoted Lackeys. We gain 2. Alrighty. I think we just attack with Skotha first. Clear the... Yeah, I think we just attack with Skotha first because we use Skotha, Pull of Tizerus, clear the Aushun's Presence. If they really want a quad block to kill Skotha, I am so unbelievably okay with that. I think I'm also okay if Rough Rider gets blocked here. So I think we're going to get aggressive here. Okay. Terminal Impact gone. We're going to Pull of Tizerus, Aushun's Presence. They take 2. We gain 2. And I make a tapped treasure. Double chump. I could remove 5 soot counters from sifting through soot, put Morbid Bloomer into play. I get a Jack trigger off of that. Bloomer's really annoying for them to block. Yeah, on one hand, I want to get the Path of Phoenix rolling, in part because I see this enduring loyalty, and the longer I don't have something that can eat their graveyard up, the worse loyalty gets for me. But I think at the same time, like, if I run out the Path of Phoenix, I'm just digging for terminal impact at this point. And if I'm doing that, I would much rather have I'd much rather just have the Morbid Bloomer up as a blocker, right? Because I can, if they go for Enduring Loyalty before combat, they don't get to do anything besides swing with Expendable Arsonist, which cannot kill Jack, so I'm fine. If they loyalty post combat, I think I'm still fine. Yeah, I think not getting loyalty there was really, really good for us. I think, in fact, I'm so not worried about loyalty right now. I am going to run out the Path of Phoenix here. Just make them mill 2. Expendable Medic and Omen Skulker. Medic is awkward because that's going to get the opponent looking at the graveyard. But we're just going to have to live with that, I think. We pass. I think I'm much happier if the opponent's line here is just use Medic, rebuy a creature, rather than Enduring Loyalty. Vengeful Artificer. I see. Copying Koraja. Make a token that's a copy of Koraja. Legend Rule the commander, presumably. No, they're just going to kill the token. Draw 2. Yeah, Oni Artifice really good here. But again, Oni Artifice means Enduring Loyalty not getting flashed back. I feel really comfy here. 1, 2. Are they looking at... Oh, uh-oh. Is this Enduring Loyalty finally? We're seeing go to combat. Swinging 4. Wait a minute. What? I just block with Alrontan Visionary, right? Because that takes them off of their 3rd creature for Enduring Loyalty. And I'd rather put the Slaughterlord in their bin than... I think I block Koraja, just because they'd have to spend mana to recast this. Yeah, let's just block Koraja. We're going to see them tap for 2. Maim. Maiming Skotha, I see. 2 Jack triggers here between Maim and combat damage, all good, just confirming. Yeah, Skotha is absolutely out of here. I gain 2. Jack takes 2. We see 1, 2. Deadly Dispute. Oh. I still have Visionary then. Still the same sequence of events. Like I still get 2 Jack triggers here. Just gonna point Jack here. Should be at 9. Just confirming. I don't think... Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, in that case, I think we will do this now. Gain and lose. To draw a card. Ozon's Blessing. I mean, that just solves the Enduring Loyalty problem. Because I could just Ozon's Blessing, go find the answer to the graveyard. But also, I think, like, we're just golden, right? The Enduring Loyalty multiple turns now would have been devastating, but we gain 2, deal 2. Swing Rough Rider. Swing only Rough Rider? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Crack Sifting to get back Scotha. That clears card out of hand, triggers 1, 2 potentially on the discard, 3, 4. I love that. I love that. We're going to go... Oh, actually, hold on. That just is lethal. Forest. We gain 2. Set counters to 5. Dome the opponent. Oh, wait, I just have lethal with this. Let's just not do the fancy thing. Let's just... I almost overcomplicated it again. Oh. Wow. That was a crazy, crazy match. All right, we're in on the top cut. Okay. Jack looked a little awkward in the first round here, but rounds 2, 3, and 4 all have treated us very kindly. And yeah, turns out when you have Tough Nut turn 1 and Tough Nut just never gets checked, both getting Jack out early is really strong. And like you all saw, my mana was really awkward in the first few turns of that game. I had green sources and black cards, and you know what Tough Nut did? Mana fixing. I really like this card. I think one of the things that this match has proven to me is that Tough Nut does have what it takes to be a constructed playable card. You just have to find cards outside of your hand that you want to play. And I think with the mana dork that we're getting, with the new mana dork that we're getting in Exalt of Twiltry, we're gonna have potentially 8 1-mana creatures that you can play in your deck for mana immediately. But the catch is one is a 1/1 that makes colorless, and the other only filters mana unless you have spells from outside your hand. So I think Tough Nut could absolutely get there. It's gonna take some tinkering to figure out what the right builds want Tough Nut. But my goodness, this card just consistently impresses me for being so innocuous. Just the mana fixing. The mana fixing is so good. The mana fixing is so incredibly reliably good. It saved us from oblivion that game. And it made a game that could have very well gone the way of our round 1 games suddenly very winnable. Just by way of us actually being able to do things like play Sifting Through Soot on curve with only forests. So big ups on Tough Nut. I will also say tiny ups on Redeveloped Cityscape. I know a lot of people are really off of it since the nerf. I understand why. It is a significantly weaker card than it was previously. Shifting the exile a card from your hand on the cost to exile a land as it resolves is really, really awkward because it means that you can't use this to save like one landers anymore. But we do have cases of, pitch a utility land in a matchup where it's just really bad in. Is that going to come up often? No, and that's why I say it's small ups and not big ups like Tough Nut is getting. But yeah, I'm very happy with that match. A lot of cool little things happening there, and getting to show exactly why I am the kind of nightmare player that likes Jack and likes these kinds of cards for commander play, and why this is my commander play style in paper. Just counting up numbers on board based on how many times I can trigger Jack in a turn. That is everything I play commander for right there, and I make it everybody else's problem. And now that we are 3-1 at the end of Swiss, I'm going to get to keep making it people's problems. So stay tuned for the quarterfinals, folks. I think the quarterfinals. Can't imagine we get into Top Cut without having to play a quarterfinals match. But however things pan out, whether we play quarterfinals, skip quarterfinals, lose quarterfinals, I can't wait to see what happens. And I've been enjoying this so much. So I'll see you all there. Once again, please check out the Exalted Twiltree set review. It is in the description. It is the first link at the top of all of the links in the description, alongside all of your usual resources for custom Magic for the Revolution custom standard format. Whether you want to join the Discord, check out the compendium to see recommendations for card inclusions in your decks, or just kind of peer through the different card galleries the format has to kind of get a look at everything we have available. So with all that said, I had a lot of fun with this match. I got to do a bit of maniacal cackling. Not quite maniacal cackling, but I did some cackling for sure. And I will see you all, hopefully with more cackling, in the next match. Take care, everyone.